These are three of Family Guy's funniest episodes of all time, the third one being The Simpsons Guy. The episode begins when Peter gets mad at a comic strip he thinks isn't funny.
Look at this. Dennis the Menace is just shoveling snow. He's being helpful. Might as well just call it Dennis now. He's not a menace.
He decides to draw his own comic, and at first, everyone loves it.
Good, Peter. I like how you retell tired old gags with a detached, ironic approach.
But then, Peter writes something mean about girls, and people on the internet get really angry at him.
Peter, you should see this. Your dishwasher cartoon has really outraged the online community.
He tries to say sorry on TV, but it just makes things worse. Soon, there's a big crowd of mad people outside the Griffin house, so Peter and his family decide to leave town until things calm down.
They're angry, Chris, but they ain't gonna get violent. Oh, cool, that brick I ordered.
They drive all night and stop for gas. But while they're inside the gas station, someone steals their car. This leaves them stuck in a town called Springfield.
Huh. Guess we're in a town called Springfield.
Springfield, eh? What state?
I can't imagine we're allowed to say.
They go into a store called the Quick E-Mart, where they meet Homer Simpson. Homer's nice and buys them some donuts.
That's very nice of you, Mr.
Simpson. Homer Simpson.
We're the Griffins. Peter, Lois, Stewie, and then, the others.
Peter and Homer try to tell the police about the stolen car, but the police don't want to help. The Simpsons let the Griffins stay at their house. Bart shows Stewie and Brian his room and his slingshot.
Hey, you want to see my weapons closet?
You have a weapons closet too?
Lisa shows Meg her room. Peter and Homer team up to look for the car. While all this is happening, Chris and Brian take the Simpsons dog for a walk. But the dog runs away.
You're a grown dog. Start acting like one. Come here, boy.
Bart teaches Stewie how to skateboard, but then a bully named Nelson is mean to Bart.
I copied off your spelling test and got a D.
This makes Stewie want to get revenge on Nelson. Homer and Peter keep messing up while they're looking for the car.
Haben Sie Homer und Peter mit Chevron Pump?
Right, Peter. If we're gonna find your car, we gotta think like a car. So let's fill up at that gas station.
Meanwhile, Lisa tries to help Meg find something she's good at. It turns out Meg is really great at playing the saxophone, which makes Lisa a bit jealous.
Was that good?
It was okay, but it would be a shame to waste such great butcher's arms on a musical instrument.
In another part of town, Stewie kidnaps Nelson and makes him literally eat his shorts. Chris and Brian pretend the Simpsons dog is still around, so no one knows he's lost. Finally, they find the Griffin's car. An old man was wearing it as pants.
Here, I was using that car as pants.
Peter and Homer go to a bar called Moe's to celebrate. Peter gives Homer his favorite beer from home, but it turns out it's just a copy of Homer's favorite beer.
Your beer is in big trouble. You can't just slap a new label on something and call it your own.
This starts a big fight between their towns. There's a trial about the beer, and Peter has to defend his town's brewery. During the trial, everyone realizes how similar Springfield and Quahog are. The Griffins get ready to go home, where Peter might need to find a new job. Luckily, the Simpsons dog comes back on his own. Before they leave, Meg tells Lisa she cut Lisa's name on her arm to remember her, which is pretty weird. Lisa gives Meg her saxophone, but Peter throws it away because they don't have room for it. As the Griffins are about to leave, Homer feels sad. Suddenly, he and Peter start fighting. Their fight causes lots of damage all over Springfield. They even fall into the nuclear power plant and get superpowers. They keep fighting and crash an alien spaceship. When they lose their powers, they fall into a big canyon. They almost knock each other out, but then the alien spaceship falls on Homer. In the end, Homer and Peter say sorry and decide they actually like each other.
Hey, listen, I'm sorry we fought.
They agree to keep their TV shows at different times.
You see, I'm a family guy.
I understand. I'm The Simpsons. Let's just agree to stay a half hour away from each other.
With a pile of garbage between us.
When the Griffins get home, everything is back to normal. Peter's comic isn't causing trouble anymore, and their beer company is safe because the Simpsons won't come to shut it down. The episode ends with Stewie pretending he's not sad about leaving Bart, but he really is. Next up, we have the episode Meet the Quagmires. This episode begins when Peter hears his friend Quagmire bragging about all his girlfriends. This makes Peter feel sad because he thinks he missed out on having fun as a single guy.
Women have a fourth hole.
What? Yeah. Oh, man, see that? Everybody's getting laid but me.
Peter decides to visit a man named Randall Fargus, who has a time machine. Fargus agrees to send Peter and his dog Brian back to 1984 for one night of fun.
Just for one night.
When they arrive in 1984, Peter sees his friend Cleveland looking all 80s style. They high-five each other near the pool. Then Peter spots 18-year-old Lois. She takes off her fancy shoes and jumps into the pool while cool music plays. Peter looks like he's 18 too, so nobody knows he's actually from the future. Instead of going on his movie date with Lois, Peter decides to party with Cleveland at a bar.
Hi, Peter. I'm really looking forward to the movie tonight.
Tonight I got plans with Cleveland.
I would eat your poo.
He has a super fun time and even kisses a famous actress named Molly Ringwald.
That was nice.
Molly Ringwald?
Yeah, how's it going?
Wow, you're the biggest star in the world right now. What are you doing here?
Then Fargus shows up with Brian, and they all go back to the present day. But when they get back, everything is totally different. Peter finds out he's been married to Molly Ringwald for 20 years.
You awake?
Morning, sweetie.
Ah! Who the hell are you? What?
Lois is married to Quagmire, and their kids Chris. Meg and Stewie look a lot like Quagmire.
Mr. Griffin, what I do with my husband is none of your business.
Also, Al Gore is the president, and there are flying cars that use vegetable oil for fuel. Brian explains that by missing his date with Lois and kissing Molly, Peter changed history. Brian actually likes this new world, but Peter wants to fix things. They find Fargus again, who is about to destroy the time machine. Peter convinces him to let them use it one more time. Back in the past, Peter tries really hard to get his date with Lois right, but he keeps messing up. He asks Fargus for many do-overs until Fargus gets angry and tells Peter he has to fix it on his own.
Crap. Death!
What?
One more time.
Hey, Peter. You all set to go see Zap tonight?
I look forward to watching it with you, sweetheart.
Ah, wonderful.
Death!
Hey, Peter.
The next day, Peter tries to say sorry to Lois, but she's still upset. She decides to go to the country club dance with Quagmire instead.
Lois, I'm so sorry. I promise I'll make it up to you.
Sorry, I've already got plans.
That night, Peter and Brian sneak into the dance to stop Lois from falling for Quagmire. They crawl through air vents, but crash through the ceiling and hurt a band member. Brian has to play guitar to replace him. Peter tries to convince Lois they should be together, but she doesn't want to listen. She tells Peter he had his chance, and now she likes Quagmire. Peter almost gives up, but then Brian notices Peter's kids are disappearing from a photo. This means they might not exist anymore if Peter doesn't fix things. So Peter gets brave, punches Quagmire, and kisses Lois.
Yes. Lois Pewterschmidt, will you be my wife?
Yes.
He even asks her to marry him right there. Lois says yes, and Brian plays a song called Never Gonna Give You Up to celebrate. At the end of the episode, things seem to be back to normal in the present day. Peter and Lois are together with their kids. But there's one weird thing. A character named Roger from another TV show called American Dad is now living with them. It looks like Peter's time travel adventure fixed most things but left behind one strange change. And finally, the funniest episode of all time is back to the pilot. This episode begins with Brian asking Stewie for help finding a tennis ball he buried a long time ago.
A tennis ball. That's very impressive, Brian.
I'd give anything to find it, though.
Stewie wants to know when Brian lost it. And Brian says it was on January 31st, 1999. That's when the show Family Guy first started on TV. Stewie has a time machine, so they use it to go back to that day. When they get there, everything looks weird. The family keeps stopping for random jokes, and Meg's voice sounds different.
Mom, my lips are too thin. Can I please get collagen injection?
Oh my God, what's with Meg's voice? She sounds like someone who's about to give up a huge opportunity.
No toys at the table.
Damn you, vile woman! You've impeded my work since the day I escaped from your wretched womb.
Stewie notices it might be his first memory, and he sees how Peter's eye goes over his nose because of a mistake in the drawing. Stewie tells Brian not to change anything in the past. He just wants Brian to remember where the ball is.
Do not alter the past in any way or the consequences could be dire.
Yeah, where'd you hear that?
Quantum leap.
While Stewie is setting up their trip back home, he meets himself from 1999.
Oh. Hey, who the deuce are you?
The two Stewies talk, and then Brian from 2011 falls out of his hiding spot onto Peter's car. Stewie finds Brian, but when they try to go home, the time machine's batteries are almost dead. They end up at a Super Bowl game instead. They use some money Peter drops from a blimp to buy new batteries. On their way back, they accidentally make the Kool-Aid Man miss his famous "oh yeah" moment.
What are you doing?
Just waiting.
For what?
I'm just waiting, dude. Relax.
When they finally get back to their own time, Stewie finds out Brian told his past self about the 9/11's attacks. Because of this, Brian from 2001 stops the bad guys on the planes. This changes a lot of things in the future. George Bush isn't president anymore, and the southern states leave America to make their own country. There's even another civil war.
Bush lost in 2004?
Yeah, he probably couldn't exploit people's fears with no 9/11.
Brian thinks he did a good thing, but when they travel to 2016, everything is destroyed. Nuclear bombs have gone off all over America, and millions of people died.
And therefore in violation of local ordinance.
Ribbity. It killed 17 million people.
Oh.
Including Caesar Milan.
Brian realizes he made a big mistake. They go back to 1999 to try and fix things. But every time they go back, more versions of themselves show up to stop them from changing the future. There are so many Brians and Stewies that they have to vote on what to do about 9/11's. Most of them say not to change anything. Finally, one Stewie tells all the other Stewies and Brians to go back to their own times and not tell anyone about the future. Then he makes the first Brian and Stewie go back to 2011 before they can change anything.
Get the fuck back in your time machine! Who are you? Never mind who I am! Just get back in your time machine!
Back in the present, Brian and Stewie talk about how crazy time travel can be. They're glad they didn't change anything important. But then Peter shows up with his friends from 1999 to watch TV and drink beer, so maybe they did change something after all. The whole episode is really funny and confusing, with lots of different Brians and Stewies running around. It shows how changing one thing in the past can make the future totally different. Even when Brian thought I was doing something good by stopping 9/11's, it ended up causing a lot of problems. In the end, they learn it's probably better not to mess with time travel too much.
Hold it!
Stop! Wait!
No! Hold
Stop!
it! I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just looking for the can.
And that's a wrap on the top 3 funniest Family Guy episodes. These crazy stories had me laughing so hard I almost fell off my chair. Which one was your favorite? I bet you're still giggling about that chicken fight or Stewie's time machine mess-up. If you thought these were hilarious too, smash that like button. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any more awesome videos about cartoons that make us laugh. Leave a comment telling me what other shows you want me to talk about next. Thanks for watching, and catch you later.